A teacher wouldn't let a kid go to the bathroom, but she had a bucket in the closet. Kid went in the closet to take a shit. Teacher got sued and fired. Someone set off a pepper spray bomb in the hallway after lunch. We were evacuated to the building next door, and only directly related family members were allowed to pick us up. My neighbor drove my sister and I to school, so we were stuck there for like 3 hours. Last year, my school got a bomb threat. In the girls' 6th grade bathroom, someone decided to write on the wall, "I will blow up this school with bombs." The entire school, of over 1,000 children, had to walk for an hour to a big building that was where we stayed for the rest of the day. The person clearly wanted to get out of school. They got their wish. They never found out who did it. We got another bomb threat this year, this time in the 7th grade girls' bathroom. 2 of the kids in my school went into the bathroom and saw that one of the ceiling panels was loose. So they climbed up inside of it, got into the ceiling, and eventually crashed down inside of the lobby since the ceiling couldn't hold their weight. A kid had his hand up for ages, trying to get the teacher's attention, and she told him to wait while she was reading. A few minutes later and she comes to him. He says he's okay now. Pee is dripping from his seat. He was sitting on a pencil as well. A pencil that was forever known as the pencil. 1 year after a heavy snowstorm, the usual snowball fights in the schoolyard were docker. Things were calm in the beginning, but it got worse over time as people became more aggressive, until it was total war. On the 3rd day after snowfall, the school banned all activity in the snow because a total of 4 kids had been sent to the emergency room with concussions and bloody noses from the ice and rock-filled snowballs. Someone brought Goat Simulator to school on a USB. People started playing it at lunch in one of the many computer labs in the school. People kept copying the file and saving it onto their personal profiles, which bogged down the computer system. It got so bad that it took about 10 minutes to log into a computer, and you likely couldn't access your files. Eventually the school shut down the whole system to repair the damage. Goat Simulator ruined our school computers for over a month and cost the school almost $20,000. Fucking Goat Simulator. Our school is on a hill, and a mountain lion casually hopped down onto campus one day. Everyone got inside luckily. It has happened 3 times in 1 year, and no security measures have been implemented. Still waiting on the day a student gets mauled to death by a curious mountain lion. The lock on one of the lockers fell off, leaving a hole. A girl stuck her finger in said hole. The school had to be put on lockdown while the fire department came and freed her. 2 kids got in a fight in 9th grade, and one of the kids got punched in the stomach so hard he pooped himself. It landed on the floor. Back in middle school, someone pooped in a urinal. This probably wouldn't have been such a big deal if this hadn't happened. Kid asks to go to the restroom. He leaves. He comes back to class 2 minutes later, right in the middle of an important lecture by the teacher, and literally the moment he gets into the door he shouts at the top of his lungs, "There's a turd in the pee thing." The 7th grade volleyball girls were caught drinking vodka on the bus to their game. It cost our class the 8th grade overnight field trip to the state capitol. A literal bomb was dropped in my school playground. We lived inside the Air Force Base and there were constant training and testing exercises. Often they'd drop dummy bombs into the proving grounds to practice accuracy. Well, one day a rookie accidentally dropped a dummy into our school playground at 5 in the morning. Military went in to collect it and realized that some idiot had loaded a real bomb into the plane that morning, and what was laying there cold caused quite a crater. School called everyone and said school was cancelled for the day. One Friday afternoon some kids played football in the schoolyard. Schoolyards are generally the only places where you can play football here. Some older kids came, threatened the younger kids who played, and the younger ones ran away. Then the younger kids returned, back with some older kids, baseball bats and brass knuckles. It was one of the most violent scenes in the city in years. This caused the city council to lock all schools and other public places that have football/basketball fields the entire weekend, every weekend. In year 7, We had a storm and the winds were so strong they blew the roof off. We were all evacuated and sent home, and then had 2 or 3 weeks off school after that, and the top floor of the school was blocked off for months. Kid managed to put a pencil through his foot in the middle of lunchtime. I was still in line and saw the entire cafeteria stand up and go running towards the windows. He'd apparently been trying to break the pencil by stepping on it, but instead managed to put it through his foot to the point where it came out the top. There was so much screaming. One day in gym class all the males left gym and went to see this massive shit someone left in the men's room. It was so huge it clogged the toilet itself without the use of any paper. One of the guys tried to flush it and it seemed to just make a huge suction until thump it all went down in one go. Everyone laughed and returned to gym. Then, it happened again. Basically the same thing. Administrator of our school had an assembly saying that all the boys needed to flush the toilets and that the hallways smelled like shit. One of the male teachers standing behind me at the assembly said, "You couldn't flush it. It was as big as your arm." Some kid jumped off the second floor balcony onto a giant Christmas tree. Then it happened again a few years later. They don't put up Christmas trees anymore. Someone stole a urinal from one of the boys' bathrooms in high school. All year the principal went on about how if we knew anything we should come forward because we must stop the bathroom bandits. Of course no one came forward because once the bathroom bandits had a name they became legend. I never did find out who they were, but someone found the urinal 3 years later, hidden under some stairs behind the auditorium, a good distance from the bathroom it was taken from. Senior prank consisted of dumping month-old fish into the air duct from the roof. They couldn't figure out what was going on at first. School was closed for a week. Hazmat was called, and ultimately after the police got involved for vandalism, the kids responsible fessed up and got community service hours. Hey guys, you can now submit your own questions by clicking the link below. If a question gets enough good submissions, it can be turned into a video.